Hello and welcome. I'm Terry Murphy. Cheerleading may never be quite the same again at Carpinteria High School. The whole squad's in an uproar over the reason 3 young members gave for handing in their pom-poms and quitting the school.
We thought that if you're a cheerleader, you were like the most popular person at your school and everyone just adored you, but it's not like that. It's not like that at all.
Hey, take it away! Get that Cheerleading. It's a high school tradition as old as report cards and touchdowns, and as American as apple pie. But there's one high school in Southern California whose squad of pom-pommers have had nothing to cheer about.
This whole thing has just, been awful. And, I don't know. Cheerleading's not that fun. It's kind of soured me on the cheerleading experience.
School spirit at Carpinteria High has recently gone stale amid charges of cheerleader abuse. The parents of 3 girls say the cheerleading camp has been more of a boot camp for their daughters, with physical and mental abuse and 32 hours a week of practice, and a fanatical emphasis on winning cheerleading contests at all costs.
I don't like practicing and all the pressure that's put on us to win. It's just like win, win, win. That's all they care about.
It's like an evil that just hasn't been stopped. No one will step forward and say, stop this abuse. I mean, the school district hasn't, the police haven't. We can't get anybody to the point where we've had to pull our daughters out of school.
I came home a lot of times in tears, crying, so stressed out that I couldn't even speak. I'm laughed at, I'm glared at.
There was a time when sisters Helen and Ann Martin had a singular dream: to become varsity cheerleaders. Growing up, they would listen to their dad tell stories of his days as a star football player, dating the team's prettiest cheerleader, their mother.
I would catch them looking through our old yearbooks, so they were very aware of cheerleading, and I had already told them about how much fun I had had as a cheerleader in our high school.
We liked when we were little kids. We wanted to wear the uniform. We wanted to have the pom-poms. We wanted to do all the stunts that they did.
Best friend and fellow cheerleader Dawn Williams had the same dreams growing up in Texas. But now her cheerleading dream is dead, because when Dawn moved to Carpinteria, she claims she was singled out for the slaughter.
It was told to parents that I was a drug addict, and I was an alcoholic, and that I was very promiscuous, and none of this is true. It was said that I am an ex-prostitute from Texas, and it went all around the school when I first moved here.
And the rumors started about Helen were just as bad and just as sexual in nature, according to the Martins.
The advisor called up my wife and accused our daughter basically of being a lesbian. And she said, I don't mind if your daughter is a lesbian, but when it affects the team, I have to step in and do something.
It got all around the school that I was, and I was just constantly teased about it because she had made up this complete lie about me.
As in most high schools, the rumors at Carpinteria spread quickly. The other cheerleaders turned against Dawn and Helen. Because Ann was Helen's sister, she too was hated. And parents turned against each other. It became a warped, nightmarish version of Harper Valley PTA.
This is just a little Peyton place, and you're all Harper Valley hypocrites.
And then, according to the Martins, the abuse started to become physical. The girls were expected to practice at least 32 hours a week, worse than any after-school job. They say it didn't matter if a girl was sick. It didn't matter if she was hurt.
She was accidentally kicked in the face. She fell to the ground, and the advisor said, get up, there's nothing wrong with you, you're okay, and she was hurt, and she was crying.
I had 104 temperatures, and I asked the advisor if I could leave, and she said no. I asked the advisor if I could sit down, and she said no, I have to do everything full out.
The girls say the only goal of the school was to win the National Cheerleading Championship in Florida, and the emphasis on winning became fanatical.
They think that you can hurt anyone's feelings, you can treat anyone however you want. You can be completely mean to them, you can get them hated, you can start malicious rumors about them, but in the end you have to go and you have to do good in Florida. You have to win.
I thought it was awfully stressful on them. The girls would come home sometimes very upset. Sometimes they would be just totally exhausted, so it was hard for them to study.
Like, win.
Yeah.
Do it. Do
At
it
all
or,
costs.
do it or die. At all costs, no matter how much it hurts you.
This may sound like the whinings of lazy high school girls. After all, the other girls on the squad had been supportive of the program. But when their parents took the abuses to the school board, they turned them into full-fledged adult complaints.
Because it's the truth, and no one's doing a damn thing. Once it was exposed, it was like we had exposed this dirty little secret.
And it was like they exposed the ugliness of a small town. Accusations were hurled back and forth in the local newspapers. Other parents accused the Martins of ruining Carpinteria's chances at the Florida competition. They say their daughters were ostracized. Eggs were thrown at their house. They received threatening phone calls.
Many parents have said that they're very upset with us because we have undermined the program.
Even when they did make it to Florida, there was such dissension on the team that they couldn't make the cut into the semifinals. And for these cheerleaders and this town, it was a crushing blow, and no one took it harder than Helen.
Since Helen was injured in Florida, she's being blamed for their failure in Florida. She can no longer go to school at Carpinteria High School because she is just a scapegoat for the lack of success.
Everyone thought it was my fault at school. Everyone came up to me and said, "Oh yeah, you fell. That's why you lost."
For Helen, in particular, it was just absolutely devastating.
They cheered their last cheer on February 9th. The Martins' house is up for sale, and Dawn has since transferred to another high school. Even the Martins' 8-year-old daughter, Jane, who was the Carpinteria cheerleading mascot, no longer has dreams to follow in her sister's footsteps. Cheerleading for this family has become a nightmare.
After all this has happened, we are absolutely not interested in our children being involved in cheerleading.
Following an investigation, the school board decided there was not enough evidence to support the girls' stories, which means there are some doubters. Our producer, Carla Pennington, now with a group of opposing students and parents at Carpinteria High School. Parents whose daughters remain on that cheerleading squad. They've just watched that story. Here's their reaction.
This whole program has been one good experience for me. I really love and enjoy being a cheerleader for Carpinteria High School.
That's right. When we showed other parents whose girls are also on the team our story, they weren't cheering.
I was there. These parents were there. There was nothing that we saw regarding these allegations. Just simply, I do not believe that they happened.
There are no charges that have any merit.
No complaints last year. Their daughters have been in this. This isn't the first year for them. And the program was no different this year than it was last year.
We didn't single them out, but I think they singled themselves out by alienating everyone else around them. They started the rumors, they spread them, they brought it to the media, and they did everything to themselves. And the people who don't like them or resent them, I don't blame them.
You have here 2 or 3 parents who, for whatever reason, are believing what the youngsters are telling them, and in fact, it's not true. The kids are not pushed. They're competitive, they're enthusiastic, and they're happy while they're doing it.
I don't see anything wrong with being a winner. It's do your best to win, not win at all costs, however.
We think that the majority of the girls, the 27 out of 30 on the squad, handled that pressure just fine.
They loved it. They really enjoyed what they were doing.
1, 2, 3. Despite this whole ordeal, I'd try out again.
It's a great program, and I'd do it again next year. And I'm going to do it again.
I wonder how the football team did this season. Now, from the trial of New Hampshire schoolteacher Pamela